is Jheel Jain. Welcome to my channel. Long time no see. I know I'm sorry like always and I know you'll forgive me. So last video was my birthday video, chota sa video I shared about this Starbucks incident, and I also told you something exciting happened. Nothing, just joined a new company, that's about it. And let's just freeze this time of year and we'll talk about it next year. So I'll tell you why and all of those things, but for now I wanna separate these two videos, like these two topics, but they are interrelated. So I'm going to make two videos, but assumption is dangerous. The next is like interlinked, but let's discuss in the next video. So why assumptions are dangerous and why we tend to assume things and how it affects our whole thought process and our life and changes our own behavior in a way. So I'll tell you how that works. If you're talking to anybody, we tend to assume a lot. A lot of people say that we don't judge, we don't assume, we like to ask, we don't have preconceived notion. It's all bullshit. Everybody tends to assume because we are human beings. We tend to do certain things. That's how we are. Like it's something which is out of control. It's not something that you can control. It's like free flowing thoughts which makes you think certain things. That's how it happens and that's how it works. So don't fool yourself if you say I don't assume and all of that, because everybody tends to assume. The problem is when you start assuming way too much, which is not even needed. So first, whenever you're thinking about something, put a full stop, put an end to the thought and just break and think whether it's worth giving a thought, whether it is worth investing time. So this could go for a long, this is a detailed discussion which we may do in later videos. For now, let's stick to the assumption part. So whenever we are talking to someone, if someone is being rude to us, we tend to think इसको हमसे problem है. But there could be another side of the story which is वो खुद परेशान होगा, उसको खुद से कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी, उसकी अपनी लाइफ की प्रॉब्लम होगी. The anxiety has just come out in front of you because in that moment you were talking to that person. Personal life, professional life, anywhere you go. Even you meet people, strangers on the journey, like on bus, train, some people tend to behave nicely, some people don't. There is a reason to it. They don't have anything to do with you. It does not have so stop associating everything around you with yourself. मतलब don't think जो भी तुम्हारे आसपास हो रहा है, कोई इंसान अगर कुछ सोच रहा है या कुछ कर रहा है, चाहे वो तुम्हें देख के सोच रहा है, तुम्हें देख के पॉइंट आउट करके बोल रहा है, it does not always have anything to do with you. It is mostly their thought process. It is mostly their way of doing things. It's how they are expressing out. So if someone is making you feel loved, it's them who are making you feel loved. It's not you who has done anything. It's their nature. Same way, if someone is making you feel hate or anything bad about yourself, it's not you who has done anything, it's them, it's their behavior. So whenever anything bad happens, whenever somebody misbehaves with you, you tend to assume that there's something wrong with you, might have done something, and you start to question too much. So there are situations where you assume a lot is the relationship, when somebody is not texting you back and stuff like that, why this is happening, why that's, you ask too many questions, you give yourself answers to that, then you have so many questions, and that's how you start to become a person like that who would start doing these kind of things in every scenarios. You don't restrict yourself there कि नहीं यार बहुत ज़्यादा सोच लिया, मुझे नहीं पता. उसी चीज़ के क्वेश्चंस खुद से करो जो तुमसे रिलेटेड है. किसी और से रिलेटेड चीज़ों के क्वेश्चन उसी इंसान से पूछो. स्टॉप अज्यूमिंग देम कि वो ये सोच रहा होगा, वो ये सोच रहा होगा, उसने ऐसे लिखा है, इसका ये मतलब होगा. डोंट read too much between the lines. What's happening is happening. What's not happening is just a thought. That's not reality. So I have been noticing this thing for longest time in my life, that people assume a lot of things they do, and that's how they restrict themselves to do certain things. For example, if somebody has not spoken to you nicely, you would not go back again to that person unless it is needed for you to do that. You would not even try to figure it out. It's not related to you. That person could have been in a bad mood. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you assume way too much, it stops your own actions and it becomes a part of your daily thought process. फिर तुम हर चीज़ में ही assume करने लग जाते हो. कुछ भी होता नहीं है, then you assume कि नहीं ये ऐसे नहीं ऐसे होगा. Why do you have to think about anything after a certain time? Just why do you have to continue doing that when it has nothing to do with you directly? Like if it's a question of you, you can answer it. If it's a question of another person, you cannot. You cannot. So don't even try. If somebody is texting you, hey, You read it hey, you don't read it hey. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's assumption. That's you are thinking कि ऐसे बोला होगा, and that we all tend to do, and we get carried away with these thoughts, and we don't even realizing how much this is becoming a harmful thing for your thought process, for your daily life, and all these things. If we keep continue doing it, it will eventually become part of our behavior or system, and it will just cause nothing but issues to you, and it will restrict you from a lot of things. क्योंकि अब हर चीज़ तुम अपने सोच में ही कर रहे हो. जो लोग ज़्यादा अज्यूम करते हैं ना, वो सब कुछ खुद ही सोच लेते हैं, और फिर उनको लगता है वो एक्चुअली में है. जैसे इफ़ आई स्टार्ट थिंकिंग दैट सो एंड सो पर्सन हेट्स मी बिकॉज उसने उस दिन भी मुझसे ऐसे बात की, आज भी ऐसे बात की, जब भी मुझे देखता है मुंह बना देता है या बना देती है, तो मेरे दिमाग में ये हो जाएगा कि उसे मैं पसंद ही नहीं हूँ, और इवेंचुअली मैं उसे पसंद करना बंद कर दूंगी ये सोच के. ये सब कैसे हुआ? दैट पर्सन हैज़ नेवर टोल्ड मी दैट she didn't like me. They've never misbehaved with me. It's just my thought process which is processing all these things on based of their actions, which I am picking wrong. They might not have even done anything looking at me, but it's just how I have picked on things. So this is something which is very dangerous, very dangerous. Preconceived notion, कुछ होने वाला है तो उसके लिए पहले ही assume कर लिया ऐसे होगा वैसे होगा. Assumptions are really dangerous. So how I'm going to relate it to the next thing that we are going to talk. Okay, 6 minutes हो गए, my goodness. This is what happens with my video, you know. So the next thing is that when you assume way too much, you restrict yourself. How you restrict yourself? If you have anything to ask to anyone, you would not ask because you have preconceived it कि इसका result यही आएगा. So that we are going to discuss in the next video. For this video, this is about it. I don't want to just, you know, make it too long, but understand what I'm trying to say. Don't assume. Just put a full stop. If you really want to know, go to that person and ask. Be upfront. There's nothing wrong in it. Be nice, polite, and upfront and ask. And that way you'll come to know. And if you think that's not the possibility, that cannot happen, just stop there. If it's not that important that you have to go and ask, or it's needed to ask, then you don't even need to bother to think about it. It's not your call to think about everything that's happening around you, and it's not your thing to it should not be your thing to associate everything around you with you कि सब मेरे से जुड़ा हुआ है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है तो मुझसे related है. Nothing. Don't do things like that. And sorry for all the messes that has happened in the video, and let me just make next video in the same outfit. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye, and watch that video. It's going to help you. Okay, bye bye.